What's up, YouTube? Doing a shot here, follow-up video on a cloudy April day, and trying to just trying to make the best of this corona situation. It's very scary for a lot of people, I know. I think it's interesting that at least for me, sort of prepared for it, because I've been alone for so long that it doesn't have as much impact. I don't feel like much has changed in my life. However, it's a tragedy for everyone. I know that. I gotta type in an address, sorry. So I just want to shoot a video update on me, and you know, I'll talk a little bit about a lot of things over the next 15 minutes or so. And for those of you that are here for the IC stuff and the prostatitis, heart goes out to you, and I get a lot of emails from you, and I'm going to be shooting a follow-up video on like what I do, what I've done, that's more in line with that, so you guys can get some help from that, because I don't talk about that stuff that much anymore, but I do get a lot of feedback on it. Now, as far as the medications I'm on, I'm taking 87 milligrams of Lamictal, 1.5 milligrams of Klonopin daily, still, and I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of research, and learning that a lot of the healing needs to come from within, and I talk about that a lot. My journey is very, I like to think it's very unique, but it's not. A lot of people going through the same things. I've been writing a lot of poetry, and I want to start reading that stuff. I'm going to read a couple poems on my YouTube channel. I have a talent for writing, people say, and I really can capture the feelings and words and rhymes. So I'm going to probably start posting some of that stuff on here. And but the last couple of days I've had a regression in which, you know, I tried to lower my meds and stuff, because if you know me, I've had an aversion to medication since the beginning. I don't want to be on it. I never wanted to be on it. But if I didn't take it, I would be dead. I mean, I went 6 years without benzos after being on it for 6 years, and I made a full recovery pretty quickly, at least in regards to benzos. But when my grandma died, and I just went down, I mean, all the way to the bottom of the bottom. It was very hard to have been climbing up and to get benzo free and feel better than I felt even before I'd ever been on benzos. So that was, and my whole channel started as sort of like a benzo fear channel, because that's sort of what spiked me in my fear. But you know, I switched to, and I've learned a lot since I switched to Klonopin, which is a much longer lasting medication, and it pulled me out of the darkest times. It's not perfect, but I would not function without it. You know, it got me a 50% improvement cognitively. I can think. I can 10 times more than I could before. I'm doing 10 times more than I could before. Still far from where I need to be, but that's just, you know, so that's me on that. And then I've always struggled to kind of try to find out what's going on with me, like, in its entirety. entirety, but as an example, a lot of people suffer from depression where they literally just can't get out of bed at all. Like they just, whereas I do, I'm very active, and even though I'm tired and I don't want to, I force myself to. So, and that's not to say, oh well, I'm better than you because I'm able to do that, or I'm judging someone because they don't do that. I have a lot of friends who are in that zone. Everybody's in a different space. Yeah, I don't have kids. I don't work. So I really am alone a lot, and my wife works a lot. And I try to be constructive with working on some things that I hope might do something one day, and I just, I'm grateful for progress, but last few days I just started feeling this emptiness I just can't even explain, and it's been tough. So I just wanted to shoot a video. It's about my progress. To go up and down, healing's not linear, and acceptance is key. And to look back and realize how far I've come on the times when I really fade out and feel terrible. I remember how bad it was, but I also remember I can get back, and I gotta stop beating myself up for if I need a medication to survive. I had a friend, it's been almost exactly 1 year from this channel, who committed suicide 1 year ago. He sent me the note on Facebook. We had met on this channel, and he had a lot of same symptoms I had, and he wasn't on medication. He had tried medication before, but he hadn't tried, he had an aversion to it, and he had pretty much the same symptoms as me psychologically. Before I got on the medication, I probably would have been in the ground as well. But now he's in the ground. He's been there for a year, and I tell his story. He didn't kill himself because he had depression, though. A lot of people think they don't understand that. He killed himself because he had anxiety and emptiness, and I guess you could say that's depression, but he didn't have the garden variety, if there is, of depression. I've known a lot of people who have that kind of depression, but he told me, he's like, I'm not depressed. I just, he didn't feel himself. He didn't feel part of reality. He had I'm not going to say the words, but he had a lot of detachment and feelings of anxiety and foreboding. But that was, like me, I'm much more anxious than depressed. But certainly they overlap. But, for me, my biggest problem, and it's always trying to figure out, and people ask me, like, well, what are you scared of? And I'm not really scared of anything in particular, except for living. I'm scared of the way I feel, which is typically not great. Some days are better than others. But overall, I'm constantly checking in, and sometimes I might even feel normal and I don't even know it, because I'm constantly checking in on myself, and that's just not something you should do, and I do it anyway. So that's my biggest problem, is fatigue, from stress, and it's not from the Klonopin. Like I saw this new doctor, and she was like, oh, well, no, you're tired because you're taking the Klonopin. I was like, no. When I started taking the Klonopin, my energy levels went up by 10x, because as I'm trying to get the point across, and I'm not saying take medication, I think most people don't need it, but if your anxiety is so bad that you can't function, or if you're having rolling panic attacks, etc., a low dose mild tranquilizer like a benzo is not going to make you as tired as the anxiety will. As long as I can get up and start moving around, walking around, I start to, I'm not tired. And I have sleep problems and I have all kinds of stuff. And you could just take that alone, just sleep alone, and you could take the most healthy-minded person and deprive them of sleep for a day or two, or have them wake up 4 or 5 times, and let's see how they feel. They feel like shit, and they're going to be irritable and angry. So that alone could, is, when I have that. So we gotta focus on the basics and stuff, but the PTSD is really hard for me because it's really embedded, it's really deep-rooted. I suffer with so much pain physically for so long that it's really deep in here, that if I go too far away from my home, from my protocol, that I have to do for my condition, even though I might not be thinking about it consciously, I have this aversion and fear. The farther away my home gets, the farther away I get from my treatment and my abilities to function. And same thing with the mental, because I have a stupid video game that I could play that it's been a go-to for a decade that doesn't require a lot of thinking, but I get sucked in that, and it'll bring me back. So I feel like crap when I go out most of the time, and the more I go out or try to go out, the better I do feel, and very mildly. Sometimes it's a fail, and you got to know when to push and you got to know when to pull. Like, I'm not ready to jump on an airplane and fly somewhere, and I want to be that way. 10 years ago, I was flying all over the country by myself on airplanes. I had no anxiety, and I was drinking 500 milligrams of caffeine a day. I was eating very poorly, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, binge drinking, partying on the weekends, and I loved my life. I mean, maybe I didn't love it, but in retrospect, man, I could do anything. I wasn't scared of anything. I get in a car and drive 24 hours. Now I can't drive more than 20, 25 minutes. And then when I get places, sometimes I feel so disoriented, disconnected. I just want to get back in the car. I just want to go back home. What I've realized is a lot of things, it's just about a battery. My mind's a battery, just talking to you, talking on the phone, trying to do a little bit of computer stuff. I couldn't do any, but it's like my batteries just don't charge all the way, but now I can get them to charge it. If I charge them all night, I might get a 20% charge, 30% charge, where I used to get 0. But driving, believe it or not, for people like me that have been mentally exhausted, you gotta look around, you gotta think, and I'm sitting here talking while I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the lines and stuff. By the time I get to my destination, I'm gonna be pretty shot. But what the benzo does is it calms you down, and it makes you not as worried, which increases your energy. And it's definitely a trade-off, because before I got back on the benzo, because of just a burnout, just the chemicals in your body that were more toxic than the benzo was, way more toxic, like cortisol, all that stuff, way more toxic than a low-dose benzo. And I was so tired, I couldn't even keep my eyes open, I couldn't function, I didn't know where I was. People don't understand that. For people with anxiety, for me, it improved my concentration, improved my memory, and improved all those things that benzos don't do. Anyway, so that's just my take on benzos, which I hate all meds, and at the same time I'm grateful that I'm still alive and my friend is dead. Or not, I'm not grateful that he's dead, but I'm grateful that I'm alive, and I look at all the people that die every day and they never tried meds, and they were scared to take meds. I talk to them all the time. A lot of people do really well, and it changes their life. A lot of people struggle, and it gets them to be mildly functioning. A lot of people, it makes them worse. Well, the majority of people, it helps to a good degree. And but you have to do the work still, even though when you're not feeling the best. The lucky people that just feel amazing on the meds are typically the people that have mild symptoms to begin with. But when you're like me and you're not functioning at all, and then to be able to do things, just normal things, it's really it's a bridge that can get you to a place where if you can actually go to a restaurant or go to the store or do something that you couldn't do before, it gets you that much closer to healing. Anyway, God bless you guys. Take it easy. Until next time.